Community known for giving, he was one of the most generous donors in Grand Rapids.
Peter Wege died Monday at the age of 94.
24 Hours News's Coco McAvoy is here now with a look at more of Peter Wege's life and legacy. Coco?
Mark and Amanda, Peter Wege really did a lot for the Grand Rapids community. He's the son of the founder of Steelcase, and he eventually took over his father's company, but it's his work in the community that may be the biggest legacy. Peter Wege worked for Steelcase for 40 years. In the 1970s, he led the charge for Steelcase to go green, decades before the movement caught on anywhere else. Wege believed being environmentally responsible was both good for the community and good for business. Wege's love of the environment can be seen across Grand Rapids. He led the charge for more LEED certified buildings across the city, including the Grand Rapids Art Museum, where the plaza out front bears his name. He also shared his passion with others, creating programs for local schools and colleges to teach the next generation. And he's also one of Grand Rapids' largest donors. He founded the Wege Foundation in 1967 as a way to honor his parents. The foundation has given millions of dollars to area groups and charities, and it is a spirit of giving that he felt could help not just Grand Rapids, but the world. And he spoke about that need before his death.
Do all the good you can for all the people you can for as long as you can. Just if you did that in your life, just think of what would happen.
Peter Wege's donations have helped a number of community groups over the years, and that giving spirit will be remembered as his lasting legacy in Grand Rapids. Back to you.
Thank you, Coco. And community leaders are reacting to today's news on the passing of Peter Wege.
And as Coco mentioned, Wege donated millions of dollars to Grand Rapids community groups, especially those in the Hartside neighborhood where he grew up as a child. We
spoke to Mayor George Hartwell about Peter Wege's impact on the community.
When the history is written of this time and the emergence of an environmental movement and the impact that that environmental movement played on the world, Peter Wege's name will be featured prominently in that history.
Raised as a Catholic, Wege has given generously to the church and local charities. He served as chairman of the board of trustees at St. Mary's Hospital, and over the years has donated tens of millions of dollars. He created the Peter M. Wege Institute for Holistic Medicine at St. Mary's and gave large donations to create the Lax Cancer Center and the Hauenstein Center for Neuroscience. Not surprisingly, all of the buildings are LEED certified. Former St. Mary's CEO Phil McCorkle spoke to us about the first time that he met Wege.
Peter always said, now, if there's anything you need, don't hesitate to ask me. And I said, well, we don't need any money. I'm trying to assess where we need to go, create a vision for St. Mary's, but if the time is right, I'll let you know. And every meeting thereafter, it was always, now do you need anything? I mean, who could ask for any, he was an angel, he was a saint.
And Peter Wege has given so much to St. Mary's. McCorkle at one point offered to rename the hospital after him, but Wege said that he wanted to keep it as St. Mary's in honor of his mother, who often prayed to Mary. And he hosted the first Healing Our Waters conference in Grand Rapids in 2004 with the aim at protecting the Great Lakes. Since then, that initiative has brought in hundreds of millions of dollars from the federal government to clean up and protect area waterways. Peter Wege spent much of his time working behind the scenes to help the community and make Grand Rapids one of the most environmentally friendly cities in the country. Dollar for dollar, he may be Grand Rapids' most generous benefactor. His passion for the environment went beyond his father's company. Wege has been a key donor and participant in efforts to protect the Great Lakes, and his focus on LEED certification has made Grand Rapids one of the most environmentally friendly cities in the U.S. We'll have more coverage on all of this coming up in our next half hour.